All right, let's back here on the 49ers Report, jump into another mailbag. You're watching this later on in the week. We did this during our live Q&A on Thursday at 6 p.m. But if we're live right now, then you're probably asking questions you see on your screen. 49er Faithful says, who should be the best quarterback? Who would be the best quarterback for the future? Watson, Tua, draft winner, keep Jimmy G. I think we all agree Deshaun Watson would be the best quarterback of the future. And I don't think there's any debating that overall. But I think the real question becomes between Tua drafting somebody, so Kyle Trask or Zach Wilson or Trey Lance or Mac Jones versus Jimmy Garoppolo. That's the real discussion, because we all understand that we would put Deshaun Watson as the best quarterback of the future. But the real question, like I said, what about Mac Jones? Like, they take Garoppolo and place him versus a drafting quarterback. So it's Garoppolo versus Mac Jones, Garoppolo versus Kyle Trask, Garoppolo versus Trey Lance, Garoppolo versus Zach Wilson. That's the discussion really to have. And honestly, we don't know in terms of rookie quarterbacks. I thought Sam Darnold would be better overall than Josh Allen. Sam Darnold comes from USC, played in a lot bigger games. Josh Allen is playing at Wyoming. And yet 3 years later, Josh Allen is leagues better than Sam Darnold and is way ahead of the game as Sam Darnold. Josh Rosen has basically washed out of the league. He's a backup practice squad guy for our 49ers. So you can't really say which one is going to be better. But the question really is Jimmy going to be better than them? And that's one that you got to kind of like Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch answer, because I don't know. You would think it would be Jimmy, but if you want to go long-term future, maybe it's a guy like Tua. I don't know. Tough question. A good one, though. Bruce says, is it possible we can draft Zach Wilson even as low as he will be on the draft? Honestly, a lot of people asking about Zach Wilson. Here's my take. He won't be there at 12. There's no way Zach Wilson is going to go ahead and be there at 12. Now, could the Niners move up to like 8, 4 spots, and find him at 8? Possibly, but there's a lot of teams from like the Falcons at 4 all the way back to 7 or 8 that potentially need quarterbacks. I mean, the Lions are up there inside the top 10. New England is up there inside the top 10. Obviously, the Falcons, already mentioned them being up there in the top 10. The Dolphins, they want to get rid of Tua. The Jets are sitting right there. They want to get rid of Sam Darnold. There are a lot of teams that would probably take Zach Wilson ahead of 12. And so, unfortunately, I don't think it's possible unless they want to go ahead and trade up, and I don't see that happening. They're going to roll with somebody else. Let me ask you guys this. Right now, who's the most important player on the 49ers roster? Let's pivot here back to the current players on the current team. Who is the most important player on the 49ers roster? Let me know who that is down below right now in the comment section, as people are still very held up on Mac Jones. Man, Mac Jones made himself a lot of money. Let's just say that. On Monday in the Natty, based on the comments I'm reading right here, Mac Jones is a very, very important player. Some people play Bosa, Kittle. Can you give me the answer to this question right now down below in the comments section? All right, let's move over to Domos here. Trade down for more picks. This is the first time I've seen this. Like, nobody is offering this option, the Niners trading back in the draft and going from 12 to 14 or 12 to 15 and picking up additional draft picks. This was a little bit more of a hotter idea last year because they only had like 5 or 6 picks. This year they have 9, and it could become even 10 based on potentially some other trades happening here in the next couple of days, weeks, and months. I'm for trading back if your player is not available. Like if Patrick Surtain is not there at 12 and you want to move back because you can get Caleb Farley at 16, 17, or 18, I get it. And I understand that. And I'm basically for that. But I would say 12 is a good spot to go ahead and just get the best player available. And so I'm kind of okay with staying at 12 as well. Nicole says, what do you think of Josh Rosen? Honestly, a lot of people want Josh Rosen to be this like steal where you get him for really, really cheap. And then he learns underneath the Kyle Shanahan system and then becomes a great quarterback. I don't see it. I mean, maybe he deserves another chance, but he had 2 chances. I mean, he had the Arizona Cardinal chance and the Dolphin chance as well. Sure, he was a practice squad guy under Tom Brady. Maybe he learned something with Bruce Arians, but I don't really see him ever becoming the superstar quarterback that they drafted him to be in Arizona at number 10 overall, 3 years ago, which is crazy. I mean, hey, learn. He's a backup right now. Potentially could become the backup quarterback if they let go of Beathard and Mullins, but right now I don't see anything happening in the future. Jake says, if both are there at 12, that's a good question. If both are there at 12, would you take Surtain or Caleb Farley? Okay. Farley's good. And I've watched a lot of tape on Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech, and people are very high on him, and he might be the best cornerback in the league. But Patrick Surtain, or best corner in the draft, Patrick Surtain is my favorite player right now. I love Patrick Surtain for the 49ers at 12. There are a lot of other positions, a lot of other players that would make a ton of sense. But if you told me right now, I could guarantee Patrick Surtain at number 12, I would do it in a heartbeat. This is a lockdown corner. This is the next great lockdown corner in the National Football League. I remember Jalen Ramsey coming out my senior year of college. I was there at the Baylor Pro Day, and Jalen Ramsey was there as well. I spoke to Jalen Ramsey one-on-one, and just the overall way he carried himself, even though he's been kind of a diva with the Rams, but he looked like he was going to be a great cornerback, and he turned out to be a great cornerback. I've not spoken to Patrick Surtain like I did with Jalen Ramsey, but I'm telling you, this kid has everything that Jalen Ramsey has from a size, from a wingspan, and from a shutdown one-on-one cornerback position. Farley is good. I think Farley's going to be the number 2 cornerback taken in this draft, but Surtain is fantastic, and I'm full up on the Patrick Surtain train. I think the Niners should jump on that here 100%. Pick one. Who do you want? I just gave my pick for Patrick Surtain. If you guys like Caleb Farley, maybe you're a big Virginia Tech fan, that's fine, whatever. Then you do you. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Pick one in terms of Surtain versus Caleb Farley. I, of course, am sold on Patrick Surtain. As Chaz says Surtain, Flame says Surtain. Okay, a lot of people saying Caleb Farley. Okay, listen, that's fine. I know Mel Kiper is very high on Caleb Farley. I think McShay is higher on Patrick Surtain. But this is interesting how we're going back and forth here. We need to get Surtain. We can't get our quarterback. I would agree, Lima. I would agree on that 100%. Patrick Surtain says Berserk. Interesting. Okay. Overall. Hey, we actually did a mock draft on our official our official Chat Sports YouTube channel. You see youtube.com/chatsportstv. We did a full 2021 mock draft. The first mock draft of the season with our mock draft expert, Tom Downey, who does a really great job of breaking down every pick in the first round. Who does he have the Niners taking? Well, I won't spoil it. Head on over to our official Chat Sports channel. We do a ton of great overall NFL content. Kind of a great substitute for the kind of talking head shows at ESPN and Fox Sports where you just kind of get tired of Max Kellerman, or you get tired of Nick Wright, or whoever it is on First Things First. Go ahead and subscribe to us, our Chat Sports official channel. Link again is down below, youtube.com/chatsportstv. All right, more questions here from Jay. Niners draft Quiddy Payne. Listen, I'm going to be honest, guys. Not done enough research on him. I can't say yes or no on him overall. I am out, though, right now. I have other people on my list who are higher on my draft board. I need to do some more draft research on him, as the draft is still a couple of months away. Chris says, keep Josh Rosen, get Trey Lance, and let Jimmy walk. I mean, we are very high, apparently, in the chat on Josh Rosen. I mean, very high. A guy who could not even get a job after the Dolphins let him go, and to be signed to the practice squad and didn't even suit up for the Patriots for a long time. I mean, sure, but that's a lot of trust in a guy who hadn't been a starter in a long time, and also a lot of trust in Trey Lance, who didn't even play football this year because he sat out due to COVID. Frito says, thoughts on drafting O-line. I get this question about once a live show. I get it. I'm fine with it if they wanted to go like an Alex Leatherwood from Alabama at number 12, but I'd rather than not. I think the offensive line is good enough if you re-sign a guy like Trent Williams to be still decent enough to win football games. I think the defense needs a little bit more help in the secondary, and that's why I'd go secondary over O-line. But I'm not against it. I wouldn't be poo-pooing it on draft night if they take somebody there at number 12. Kevin says, shouldn't we keep Jimmy G and just develop Rosen? He's a first man. How is Josh Rosen hidden in the chat right now, hyping himself up? Maybe he is. I don't know. It's just a lot of Josh Rosen love. It's impressive. Listen, I get it. He was a former first-round draft pick, but he hadn't done anything good with the past 3 teams he's been with. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not very high on Josh Rosen. I'm just going to finish with that. I think Josh is watching right now. Shout out to Josh Rosen if you're out there, Josh. You're probably not, but you never know. Okay, I want you guys to shout out your city. Again, where are you guys watching from? Down below in the comment section. I want to see how many are in Cali, see how many are in not California, not in San Francisco. As Bruce says, 49ers should draft Thomas Mott. And my 40 time is pretty good. My bench press, 225, not bad. I'm just saying it right now. Hey, I'd be a 6th-round draft pick because they still make like $500K, and that's more than I make right now. And so, I'm just saying, it's fine. Let's see. Where are you guys watching from? Give me those shout-outs down below right now in the comment section. Santa Clara. Someone says Josh Rosen hasn't never had a real chance. What do you mean? Arizona, Miami made him the starter twice, but did not give him a real chance. I don't know if that's true. Geez, we're getting a lot of comments. I can't even read that fast. Puerto Rico, Germany, Santa Clara, LA, San Francisco. Really in Germany? What time is it in Germany right now? Deutschland, as they say. Man, that's great. Sacktown, SF, Jacksonville, Florida, Palmdale, California. Oh yeah, we got a lot of people. Keep shouting out your city down below right now. Where you guys watch from? LA. It must be, legit Germany. That's crazy. Okay. Fresno, Lompoc. I never heard of Lompoc, California, but I'm sure it's great. Riverside. I think Fresno. Is Fresno good? I've heard some good things about Fresno. I've never been to Fresno. Seattle. Is it raining in Seattle right now? Are all the Russell Wilson tears pouring up in Seattle? Knob Noster. I have no idea where that is. No, you're not in Antarctica. There's no way. England. Good low from England. Vegas. That's my hometown. I was actually born in Las Vegas. Side note, it's a little bit of New Mexico. Never heard of Deming, New Mexico, but I'm sure it's great. There you go. Listen, a lot of people shouting out your city. Keep going down below. Let's go to a couple more questions here as I keep reading some shout outs. Fresno, love Fresno. All right, that's fair, Cheryl. All right, listen, I've never been to Fresno. Maybe I will. Anthony says, what one should we try to trade Gilmore or Deshaun Watson? Jeez, I got a stroke reading that. Okay, I'd try to trade Gilmore or Deshaun Watson. I'd rather trade for Deshaun Watson, honestly. I mean, I like Stephon Gilmore. If you want to trade for Stephon Gilmore, that's fine. And he's a great cornerback. I think he's a little bit old, but I'd rather trade for Deshaun Watson. I'll be honest. I get a little worrisome when the Patriots trade a star player because most of the time, not named Chandler Jones, they're on the downside of their career, and Bill Belichick pulls one on the team he's trading him to. So I'd rather go for Deshaun Watson. Nicole says, number one guy you want us to draft, Patrick Surtain. Buy the jersey. That's who I want. Now, listen, there are a lot better players earlier in the draft, but if you're saying we're going to stay at number 12, best player available, I think it will be Patrick Surtain. You might be taken earlier. Philly at 6 could use him. I mean, you never know, but he's my number one guy, 100%, my number one guy. Speaking of number one guys, how about me? Shout out to me, and by giving myself my own shout out, follow me on Twitter. There you go, right there, @RealThomasMott. Yeah, listen, a lot of people ask me questions on Twitter, and a lot of people don't realize you can ask me questions on Twitter. Slide into my DMs. Come on in. If it's a good question, I probably will respond to it. First things first, though, you got to follow me on Twitter. That way your DM pops up. So follow me @RealThomasMott right now. The 3,000 followers on Twitter. Help me out here. Give me a follow. Guys, love the 49ers. I tweet a ton of stuff about the 49ers. A great place and a great, I think, overall Twitter feed to go ahead and follow to keep up to date on the 49ers, just like you're up to date here on the channel. So give me a follow @RealThomasMott. Joseph, why dump Jimmy over availability when everyone seems to keep their hype on Hurd, who's never been on the field? I mean, yeah, I think it's two different. This is apples to oranges here. We're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo versus Jalen Hurd. I do think there is some concern with Jalen Hurd because when he got hurt again, I was like, no, like, please do not get hurt. And yet he did. Like, he literally got hurt again. So I hope he can get back on the football field, but I don't think we can compare Jimmy to Jalen Hurd. They're two different people, like they're just two different overall positions and players. And so, that's fair. GS Squad. I don't know what that stands for, but G Squad, not GS Squad. That was stupid. G Squad. What do you think of the future of CJ is? CJ Beathard. I don't think he's going to be a Niner next year. I don't. I think they're going to pick one, Mullins or Beathard, because they've always had two the past couple of years, and they've kept both of them. I think that they're going to go ahead and pick one. I would pick Mullins over Beathard. That's not a very popular opinion right now based on what Beathard did the final games of the year versus Mullins. But I would bet that Mullins is probably going to go, Beathard is probably going to go ahead and be let go. Mullins is an unrestricted free agent, or a restricted free agent, so you can kind of still keep him if you want to. XSO Chris with, what is that, Kobe dunking? That's a cool picture. How much do you think the Niners will give Juszczyk to come back? Probably 5. Yeah, I think he's made $4 million, 4.5 last year. They need to bring him back to 100%. He must be a priority this offseason alongside Trent Williams. This is the guy you've got to keep because he's a massive part of the offense. I mean, he is the best receiving fullback in the National Football League and probably the best blocking fullback in the NFL when blocking fullbacks are not really a thing anymore. I would re-sign him, but it'll cost $4 or $5 million. I think he could re-sign one more contract for 2 or 3 years, and that would be, honestly, like absolutely fantastic.